All right, hello and welcome to the Rambling Robin podcast. I am Robin, and today I'll be rambling about the things that I'd like to have a conversation about, to talk to you about, the things that I just wanted to say. All right, are we? Is that cool? Is that cool? Can I do that? That's great. That's great. Okay, so today marks the first podcast, or not really. I guess it's the second podcast where I don't actually talk about trolldom because trolldom has now become more of a visual experience, so to say. I'm doing a lot more drawing and stuff, and I kind of want to I want to put that on YouTube primarily. I'll still upload the podcast in audio format, but it will not be uploaded to the podcast channel anymore. That is the Rambling Robin YouTube channel. It will not be posted there anymore. It will only be posted to the Mr. Goblinair YouTube channel. In case you're wondering, and if you're not wondering, I guess I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I wasted your time. But now, so for today's episode, I kind of want to talk a little bit about things that I've been doing as of late. I've been planning some parties, actually. Not party. I've been planning a party, not parties. I'm gonna go to multiple parties because 'tis the season. It's Christmas time, or whatever time your religion dictates, or whatever. I'm not religious. I don't really care about religion. I like Christmas because we've been doing it for such a long time, even before Christianity decided, like, this is actually our thing now. You know? Yeah, that's right. I'm one of those guys. I've heard about the truth, and I'm going to mention it at every time, or at every opportunity that I get. So isn't that fun? I'm one of those people. If you can't take that, maybe you should show yourself out. Now, excuse me while I do this. Mm. Just had a sip of my beer. That's right. I'm cool. I drink beer like the cool kids. Actually, I didn't drink beer until I moved to Japan. Funny story. I moved to Japan when I was like 21, and you Americans might be like, yeah, well, that's the prime age to start drinking, like legally, at least. And for me, I'm Swedish. We get to drink when we're 18, if we feel like it. But we can't buy our own alcohol. We can't buy it, bring it back home. No, 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 no. You have to go out. You have to go to the bar or a pub or a club, whatever. They have to serve alcohol to you. You can't just buy your own alcohol. Are you stupid? Are you crazy? That's insane. Who would do that? Either way, I didn't start drinking beer until I moved to Japan, and maybe I managed. No, I was still 21. It was just it was too much of a bother to not get or to just get like drinks like I want that drink or this drink, because like you can't get it in every convenience store in Japan. If you go to a convenience store in Japan, you can get like hard liquors, you can get beer, and then they have a few other spirits that are like, I don't know, and like they have like what's it called, strong zero, which is great if your goal is to just get drunk, but it's not always to get drunk. It's about the journey, right? So I got tired of just having like all these like 9% alcohol drinks, and I decided, like, hey, I'm gonna start drinking beer. It'll be cheaper, first of all, to like be able to have beers every time I go to a bar and stuff like that, and also like, why not? And now I enjoy beer. I still prefer like other drinks like ciders, especially here in Sweden, because like I don't know about other countries, but in Japan at least, like when you say cider, it's like just like hard, like dry style apple cider, which is good. I like it. But here in Sweden, we basically just like, oh, cider, you mean soda? It's a soda pop. Like a cider in Sweden is like basically, we just took like, oh, it's made of apples. Yeah, but it's not like, what if we could, if not, like, potentially, what if we wanted to market this, wanted to what if we wanted to market this to kids, like just like as a theoretical, like we're not going to do it, but if we wanted the kids to drink it, what should we do? And they're like, and somebody's like, just make it super sweet, make it super sweet. And they're like, god damn it, you're a genius, it's super sweet and now it's delicious. Oh, I love them so much. Even the apple ciders, oh, they're so good. I love it a lot. I like them a lot. Either way, I rambled on. That was a tangent. Back to preparing parties. That's the one. I I got sidetracked by just having a sip of my drink. Either way, planning parties because it's the season. So on New Year's, I'm planning a little party with a friend of mine, or like a lot of friends technically. But The two of us, me and my friend, are planning a party at my friend's. His parents has like a little summer cabin or a cabin in the woods, I guess, kind of deal. Where we usually do like some parties and stuff like that. And I thought, like, for once, let's do like a bigger thing. Like we're usually about 7 to 8 people at the most over there. But now I'm thinking, like, let's try to get like 15 to 20 people. Wouldn't that be fun? Like it's out in the woods, not a lot of people. We're not gonna bother. Like the closest neighbor usually isn't there, and the second closest neighbor has a hearing problem. He can barely hear his own dog in his own house, and the house is still like it's like at least 100 meters away from the cabin that we'll be in. So it's perfect. It's great. So that's what we're doing for New Year's, and I'm trying to like just get some people that I don't know because I've been holed up in my hometown for so long right now. I've been holed up just doing nothing. Not really nothing, but like I've just been going through the motions. I've been going to my job. I've been coming home. I've been just relaxing because I don't have a lot of free time, not a lot of spare time when I get home because I get home at like around 9 p.m. and then I have to go to bed like between like 12 to like 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. ish. Like 1 a.m. is like the hard cut of like I have to go to bed because the next day I go to the gym if it's a work day, unless it's a Monday. But then I have to catch an earlier bus either way. So yeah, I don't have a lot of free time on my work days, and on my days off, I still have like I still go to the gym in the morning. I need to fit that in, and then that's when I try to do stuff. But I usually just plan things with some of my closest friends. I have like a friend group of like maybe I guess we could say 5 people that I plan my life with, and that's fine and all. But I'm starting to get a little bit bored because I'm not meeting like new people in the sense that I'm not meeting any women like at all. I'm on the dating apps and stuff, but like I can't hold a conversation with a person who barely even cares about me to begin with. It's like it's all about like, oh, now it's time to put on your like I don't know, put on your magic hat and be special, and you have to try real hard to be special instead of just having a conversation, because otherwise they just won't talk to you. Because I'm sorry, but I ain't that hot. I'm sorry. Like and I'm just assuming that's why, because like why wouldn't I? No, that's a little bit too mean to myself. I'm not a bad looking guy as far as I've been told by my friends and family, but still, like I'm not that exciting in text. Like when I meet a new person, like when I'm out and about, I can have a pretty nice conversation with them. But if you're trying to text someone, like you need like an opening line, you need should you just do like a hello, or should I start with like a real like true conversation started? Because the best thing about this is when you read profiles on things like, let's use Tinder as an example. I have a lot of conflicting messages there. Some people are just like, just say hello, just start a conversation, come on, don't be a coward. Like they literally write this in their profile because too many people just don't say anything. And then there's the people who are like, don't just say hello, just say something else, get my attention. And I'm like, which one is it? And the people who don't like, who won't write anything, I'm like, oh, you're a gamble. And I only match with the people who are gambles, or that I'm like, that I find like as soon as we start talking, I'm like, wow, you're actually boring. I'm doing an interview here and you're basically just responding yes or no, or like something to that capacity. This is not fun. So I really just want to meet people, and of course like just make new friends in general, and it'd be nice to meet some women. So I'm trying to kind of make that kind of happen. Not really, but still, it'd be fun to just meet some new people. Guys, goddamn, like the last 4 or 5 years, I've been meeting like all the same people, except for at my work where they kind of cycle through people. But it's like, does that even count? Not really. I don't count it, at least. But yeah, so that's what we're doing for the for the New Year's party. We'll see how it works. We'll see what happens. I'm not entirely sure how many people will even show up. Like I've invited a few people, but we might just still end up being like 10 or 12 people, and most of them I already know. It'll still be a fun party, of course, because I always have fun with these people. That's why we usually don't like plan something with strangers. And it's not as easy to just like meet strangers here in Sweden. I've found, like especially after like because I used to live in Tokyo, and when I lived in Tokyo, like you would just go out, and if I got drunk enough, I just made new friends. I just made new friends. Like I don't I literally cannot remember the name of like so many people that I just went out and met and we had a good time together. Uh, I made friends like at the line to the bathroom at karaoke places in Tokyo. That is like one of the best places to just meet some new guy friends. Like you start talking to them, they're like, "Oh my god, you're a foreigner." I'm like, "I sure am, but I speak Japanese." And they're like, "Holy shit, you can speak my language." Yeah. And then we connect, we have a piss together, and then he'll be like, "Hey, come to my like come join me and my friends," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then I don't show up. Then I went to have a pee, and I don't show up to the room that I left for like an hour, and they're like, "Where the hell did Robin go?" And usually it's like, well, he tends to disappear. So there's at least one or two people in the company who'll be like, he's fine, he's fine. He'll either turn back up, or he'll contact us tomorrow telling us about his great adventures. And that's true. That's true. That's what I that's what I tend to do when I have the freedom to just explore the environment, I guess, and make new friends. Where was I? Yeah, the party. So planning the party. It's also another thing. Speaking of karaoke, I guess we've started doing this thing just like karaoke cabin. We bring because I have a mic. I actually have two mics, or my friend has the other mic. But we have mics. We have mic stands that like they're fairly tall, and we have speakers, and we have all the things that you need to do karaoke. So we usually try to set up a little karaoke thing at the cabin, which is a lot of fun. Especially, I'm thinking like I think I really need to do that for New Year's, even though it's a little bit of a gamble in case something breaks. But it's so much fun just doing karaoke, especially when you're like 10 or 12 people. Somebody just sings, and like 10 people just sing along because they all know the song, and they also want to sing, stuff like that. I really want to do something like that. But the difficult part about that is like we have like the speaker system that's at the cabin. It's one of those like Bluetooth special system where like you'll need the app if you want to connect to these speakers, and like, oh fuck you, I need to have a special app which basically just says you cannot use your computer for this unless you want to use Spotify or something. It's like they suck. I hate those kind of speakers. They're the worst. I don't understand why why the popular ones, or the ones that my friends have, at least why they have the crappy ones. In my opinion, these are the crappy ones. Like, oh, you have to have this app to play this, and this app will allow you to play from Spotify, Apple Music, or sometimes YouTube. But then like we need to like sync that up with actual YouTube. I don't know. It's such a bother. So we bring out some other speakers, but I'm fairly sure that these speakers that we bring, there's either a delay between the speakers and the audio interface that we bring with us, or the audio interface and the mic. And I'm pretty sure it's not the audio interface and the mic, because it's the ones that I'm using right now. I'm listening to my own voice as I'm doing this, and there's barely any delay at all. But when we do the karaoke setup, we have like a half a second, almost like a quarter of a second delay, which ruins the entire thing. Or not ruins it, but like it makes it way more difficult to actually just keep singing, because it sounds like someone else is singing behind you trying to keep up, but they're too slow, and it just fucks you up. It's kind of annoying, but we'll see. We'll see. I really want to figure out how to do it without the delay, and it might have something to do with the laptop we're using and stuff like that. I really have to just try this setup before we go to the cabin, and then I might be able to solve it. But I usually tend to just try to solve it at the cabin, which so far doesn't really work. So we'll see. I really want to do the karaoke thing for New Year's, though. It's going to be a lot of fun. I believe it will be a lot of fun. But either way, what else? What else is there? I've been planning some other things. Have I? No, not really. One of my friends, or technically three of my friends, are planning like a triple 30-year birthday party in January, which is a lot of fun. I really want to go to that one, or I'm gonna go to that one unless I get like unless I'm sick or something. Because but I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna eat a lot of vegetables to just make sure I'm healthy. I don't know. Probably not. Well, I do eat a lot of vegetables. My lunches recently, like, because I make a lunchbox for work because I don't want to pay like $10 for a lunch when I can make my own lunch and it's like $10 in total. Because what I'm doing right now, I'm buying this like frozen fish, which is just it's fine. It's fine. It's not that great. It's fine. Uh, but I get like 2 packs of it, which is like 1.2 or 3 kilos, something around that number in total for the 2 packs, and it's only like $8. And then I just have like this head of cabbage, just the big cabbage, just chop that motherfucker up, put that together with the fish in the oven, like 150 Celsius for like an hour. Bam, food's done. Then I take some gochujang, like the Korean chili paste, mix that shit in there. Delicious. Lunch for like 4 days. I don't use the whole, like, I don't use both the packages of fish. I only use like about total like 1 kilo of it, like, so about half ish. So like I'm saving for next week. And then oh yeah, of course, and I also add a few eggs. I fry up some eggs because I need the protein. I need more protein. But that's what I'm eating. That's my lunch, and it's actually really good. It tastes really nice. Like when I made it the first time, I'm like, oh, I really hope this is like good and filling. And fortunately enough, it is somewhat filling and it's good. And I really like. I don't have any like cravings of like, oh, I need some other food right now. At least when I'm at work. When I'm at work, I basically just need something to like give me a little bit more energy so I can go through the day, or just to stop my tummy from rumbling. That is literally what I need when I'm at work. Otherwise, it's like totally fine. I barely even care about it if I'm being honest. But it's when I'm like when I get home, oof, that's when the struggle starts. Or not even when I get home, like when I leave work. Because when I wait for the bus, it's like right by this supermarket, and a lot of times I just go into the supermarket, get some stuff I need for like just at home, like in general, like, oh, what do I need? Oh, I need milk, and oh, I need butter or whatever, right? But a lot of times, about 99% of the times, there's like, oh, I'll also get this little snack, and I get that little snack, and then when I get home, that's when like, ooh, the craving kicks in. Like, now, time to make something delicious. Let's like make a sandwich or something. I try to hold back, but I got to do it, especially because like, even though it feels like, oh, I shouldn't do that, I really should do that because I, otherwise I don't get enough calories in a day if I don't do that. Because the meal that I told you, the cabbage, the fish, and the egg, like, it's not a lot of calories. It's not enough. It's not enough. Um, so I should be eating more, and maybe I should start focusing. Like, maybe I should start getting more calories in. But it's like, it's a struggle. I am still aiming to lose weight, but I need to get more protein because I also want to build muscles. But does that mean that I should also get more calories even though I'm still aiming to lose weight? That's the biggest like thing, right? Losing weight and building muscle at the same time. How do you do it? There's some people saying that you can't do it. There's some people saying that you can do it. I kind of want to. I really don't know. I want to do both, but maybe I should focus on one or the other. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's the eternal struggle of how I live my life. You know what? It's fine. I lost about 15 kilos. Like, I started whatever diet I'm doing. I don't know what to call it. Just like, count your calories, bro. It's not that hard. It's what I call the it's what I call the calorie. It's what I call the diets, and it's an easy one to live by, in my opinion. Like, you just make sure that you don't eat way too many calories, and like, what do you know? I lost 15 kilos in 3 months. Yeah, it was that easy. But now I'm kind of like, it's stagnated. Like, the last like almost not 6 months, but like 4 or 5 months, I'll just been like at like around 90 to 93 kilos. Like I've just stopped right there. I used to be like 105 kilos, which if you convert it to pounds, ooh, how much is that? I don't know, like 220 or something. It's quite a lot. It's not very. I wasn't a very. I wasn't very small. I'm not very small now either. It's just like my belly is shrunk. Oh boy, did it shrink! God damn! Like I can actually like wear a sweater and it doesn't look like I'm hiding a pillow underneath, which is great. I love that. That is, oh, you know what? That it made me so happy. Just putting in that effort for like 3 months and like, oh my god, visible results. That is great. I wish I could do that for my hair. I don't know what to do, but if it was that easy, don't tell me minoxidil. I'm trying it. It's not really working. It's basically like, yeah, do you want to lose more? No? Well, use minoxidil. It's basically the situation I'm in right now. Mm. How did I get on that? Parties. My friend's triple 30 party. I don't know. I'll be 30 in December, which is interesting to think of. Like I've basically considered myself 30 this entire year, if I'm being honest. Like I turned 29 and I'm just like, yeah, I'm basically 30. Like in my head, like it's probably not gonna be a huge difference when I turn 30, except for the fact that I'll be able to say I'm in my 30s now, right? But hey, then again, I've heard people say 30 is the new 20 or something like that. And I heard people said that. It was like 5 or 6 years ago. So now it would have to be like 35 is the new 20 or something, right? Isn't that how the math works? Pretty sure. So I'm basically old enough to drink now. So I'll have a drink. Mm. Yeah, I'm having a few drinks because I'm meeting my brother later. We're gonna hang out and probably drink because it's a Friday. It's basically the only day of the week where I'm able to drink because I work Sundays and I don't want to drink on Saturdays because of that. Usually, unless there's a special occasion like my brother's birthday that we celebrated last week, or my one of my best friend's birthday that was the week before that. But before those two Saturdays, I've barely had a single drink on any Saturday in the last like year and a half, 2 years now. So that's, yeah, remember that. Unless it's been like unless I've been like off from work as well, but that's a different thing. I don't count those because I didn't have to work the day after. But yeah, the big 3-0, man. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know, like, yeah, I literally, I don't know what to think about it. Like, what am I supposed to reflect on my life? What have I done until now? Has it been worth it? Kind of, yeah. I love my life. Like so far, it's been fucking great. The only problem is that I'm not good at like putting the effort in to just accomplish the things that I should accomplish, which is kind of good and bad in its own way that I have that mindset because it's like I'm not kicking myself over not accomplishing the stuff that I've wanted to, but then I kind of have like a part of me has this mindset where it's like, well, you can just do it sometime soon. And it's like, yeah, but sometime soon, if you keep thinking like that, you'll be like 50. And then you keep thinking sometime soon. And then you're starting to get closer to when sometime soon is just like, hopefully before I die, right? And I'm not saying 50 has to be that cutoff point. I'm just saying like, yeah, it's getting closer. So I'm trying to do stuff. I'm working on Trolldom, which, yeah, I mentioned at the start of this podcast. I've been working on the game with a friend, which is kind of like it's put on ice for now. Is that the no, that's not the expression. I forget the expression. We're not working on it for now, at least. But then like there are other things that I want to do. There's other things that I want to work on. I still want to try to figure out a way to move back to Tokyo somehow because I love it there. I love it so much. I love it so much. I love it so much. I want to go back. Um, but then again, like now I have this apartment. Like, what the hell do I do? I need to rent it out to someone else for the time that I like when I move it to Japan, and when I'm coming back from Japan, I need to find somewhere to live, and that's not easy here in Sweden. If you want to live anywhere close to Stockholm, which I do, somewhat live close to Stockholm. It's like about a 30-minute train ride from here, which counts as close because this is like one of the more like I guess you could call it like local trains. I don't know what to call it. Um, yeah, that's like the biggest thing holding me back, like mentally, from like truly trying to go back to Japan, because it's like, oh, the whole like the whole process of coming back. If I'm not able to stay for long in Japan, I need to have a backup plan for when I get back to Sweden. And then what do I do? I'm not sure. Like that's the hardest part, because like you can rent out an apartment. So what I have, like this apartment, I have like a first hand contract, let's say, or let's say that's what I have. Like I'm renting from the owner, right? But then I could rent this apartment to someone else for a limited time, depending on what the owner allows. The owner might even say, like, no, you're not allowed to do that. And then I just can't rent this apartment out to anyone. And then then I'm here, just sitting here with a crappy apartment, not crappy, with an apartment, and like basically not being able to leave the country, because then I'd have to cancel the apartment. I'd have to just get rid of all my stuff, like all the furniture and everything, and then move to Japan. And then I'd be in Japan. And if I don't get a visa, and like if there's no way for me to be able to stay there, I'm just fucked, because I won't be able to. Like when I come back to Sweden, it's like, yeah, well, where do you live? Well, I guess you'd have to live with your parents, you 30-something-year-old man at that point. And that'd be like, oh my God. You know what you don't want to do as a man in Sweden in your 30s? It's live with your parents. I'm telling you that much. There are some countries where that is like somewhat socially acceptable, where like people live with their families and stuff like that. This is not one of those countries. And though it kind of should be right now, because of the whole housing crisis here in Sweden. Not really a crisis in that, like America had, like in 2009, where like the housing bubble just bursted, and like everybody's like, oh no, my money, or whatever. I'm not that I don't know that much about it, but I knew something like that happened. Or was it 2010? Either way. So because of the crisis we have here in Sweden, we're just basically like, a lot of people want to have somewhere to live, and usually like in a city, and a lot of people want to live close to Stockholm, because here there's a lot of jobs and stuff here. And then there are no places to live, and then prices just keep going up. And a lot of companies and a lot of people in the government as well, they're kind of like, well, let's just give all the landlords more freedom so they can raise the rents like as much as they want. And like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense if you want to make a lot of money as a landlord, or somebody who owns a house or like an apartment building. But as someone who's about to rent a building for the first time in your life with a less than $2,000 salary, you don't really want to have a rent that's too high. I'm paying, like, for this apartment, I'm paying like converted to dollars, I guess it's about $600 to $700, somewhere in that range. Definitely more than 600. I don't think it's more than 700. But that's what I'm paying for this, and I'm making ish 2,000 a month, a little bit more, I think. I don't know the conversion rates right now, so, and I'm not going to look it up because it's too much of a bother. But that's like my situation, and this, like where I'm living, this is not very central at all. Like I'm close to, I guess you could call it, it's somewhat central for the city that I'm in, but the city I'm in is not even Stockholm. It's it's a city south of Stockholm. It's outside of Stockholm technically, but it's still not very cheap, because this is a 1-bedroom apartment. You see this little screen behind me? That it's covering up my bed, because like I didn't want to have my bed just open in my apartment. So I got that little screen, covers it up, especially when the sunlight comes in the morning. It's great. It helps me out. But yeah, where was I? Housing, and oh yeah, I keep rambling. Oh, I picked a great name for this podcast, didn't I? I picked a great name. I keep rambling. It's Rambling Robin. But I think I'm done rambling for today, actually. I think we did pretty well for just me talking about stuff, like just rambling on in general, not really rambling about trolldom for a second time at least. The first one was when I just realized, like, oh my god, you know what? I like Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards are fun. That was the first one. Now I'm just rambling about other stuff. It's fun. I like it. I'm gonna see if I can like pick more concrete topics for next time, because this time it was basically just like, you know what, I want to record the podcast today. I usually record them on Saturdays or Sundays, but this is like, you know what, I want to record this on a Friday. I'm just gonna try it out. I hit record and then I just started blabbering about. But I think I did pretty well. I've been rambling on for like 30 minutes, which is pretty good for a solo person podcast, if I'm being honest, which I tend to be. No, not always. I like to, like, when it comes to like just saying things that sound fun, I like to tell a lot of lies if they sound fun. But I'm pretty sure this podcast I didn't say anything just because it sounds fun. Basically everything I said was true. I don't know why I mentioned this now. It sounds like I'm like that I have been lying, but I have not been lying. I've not been telling lies, at least not in this episode. The other episodes, ooh, who knows, right? You'll see. You'll just have to put the pieces together. You can be your own little detective. See what things I say that are lies and not. That's a lot of fun, right? But I'm gonna stop rambling now, for real. I'll catch you next time. If you'll have me, if you'll see me. All right. Goodbye now.